government of today, they are the highest land grabber. Tinubu is a land grabber before he became a governor or president of Nigeria. I'm from Lagos. I'm originally from Lagos. Tinubu grabbed my family land in Nigeria. So Tinubu is a notorious land grabber. So even Lagos state government, they are land grabber on their own. The federal government, go to Abuja, Wiki is a land grabber.
You are
So even if you eh?
allegedly.
Allegedly, so it's there. I can call them because they are public figures. So even Wiki that is in Abuja there, Tinubu invited him because he's a land grabber. And that's why you see all these guys. They start real estate today, and in the next just 1 or 2 years, they're already a billionaire.
You see it for land that does not exist. So I want to ask, from your experience, why do you think that the real estate company in Nigeria now is facing this lot of scam, especially now? Why? This real estate now, is it profitable for you as the promoter, or is it also profitable for those that are investing? Because I understand that you are into it, as you said, you cannot test a soup and it is sweet and you will not go. So are you telling me that for majorly most real estate companies, including your own in Nigeria, that you guys are into it for your own selfish reason because it makes sense for you? How does it benefit others that are investing?
You won't start from us. My father used to tell me that he used to narrate his history to me that when he was young, he did everything possible to Japan. He even stole my grandma money, my grandma money to try to Japan, but end up maybe in Gabon or something. And I don't know,
Mr.
you're scamming
Mayowa,
people. So this thing
Mr.
is business.
Mayowa, Mr.
Mm.
Mayowa, your mates are running away, are jabbering from Nigeria. With the tax reform, with many things that are coming up, many people are saying that they are still looking for visa to run away. Mayowa, let me ask you, sorry to ask you this thing. Are you okay? Why
Me,
won't you run away like every other person?
I'm still making it big. I'm still, at least to some extent, at least I'm living decently. There's no restaurant I want to enter that I cannot eat there. There's no hotel I want to go that I cannot go. There's even one day, one of my friends in UK was telling me that I should come to UK. That if they come home, they spend 1 million naira in the back. Me, I will not be able to spend 100,000. I say, you try and come and move go back first. Try and come and move
try
go back first. Don't
try
go run.
try
But
put body make you see whether
nobody
na
said to
cute
sleep.
money.
Before buying, you have to do your due diligence because I will not lie to you. 90% of the land, or let's say 80% of the land in Ekpe now is government land.
Explain land banking. Just assume that my audience are 5 years old. Can you explain land banking in Nigeria in the simplest way, so for anybody listening to understand?
Just advise you to buy from Monele. But it's just that the Monele too are not really trustworthy like that. But one thing about Monele is that if you buy land from them, if they sell the land, if you track them, they'll still give you another one. This I did on that house, it's not up to 2.5 million naira. But if I'm like these people, now I can package this house now because of the people and everything and sell for 100 million. But there's POP there, there's white paint there, they start calling 100 of million. My brother, I built a house recently. My house that I built recently is about 5 bedroom this thing. My house is here in the bed. There's one real estate that I know. The man has launched the real estate. If you see the hype and everything, they give that estate. The estate is just like, let's say, 15 minutes drive to my house and to my first estate. In this estate, they are selling a plot for 45 million naira. My brother, if you bring 1 million naira, I will get a plot of land directly from Monele, from in that same area, we have that estate. Most of the land, most of these people are buying. I'm in the sector. They go to community, they buy like 50 acres or maybe 200,000 per plot. Then they start selling for 5 million naira. So
The people that Mr. Scott are saying invested in receipt instead of land live in the diaspora. I also see Mr. Scott say today that Sujimoto allegedly is also owing someone $1.9 million from investment he did in the land in land and the real estate scam in Nigeria.
drowning, you need to save yourself first before you start saving other passengers in the boat. So after greenness, normally an estate should not be more than, and it's only a government that can take large expanse of land from people like 50 acres, 100 acres, 30 acres. as a real estate, as a company, the highest you should be dealing with should not be more than 5 to 10 acres. Like some family, like some family that have prominent people in their midst, like people of high caliber in their midst. They usually have a means and the power to protect their land themselves. But family that doesn't really have much, that doesn't have people in power to serve as backup for them, they usually visit or they usually invite agents, all these land grabbers, to come and protect their land for them.
The real estate in Nigeria has become something else in the past few days. While many people in the diaspora, their safe haven, have been investing in the Nigeria real estate. But recently, we have seen the real estate in Nigeria becoming something else. Allegedly, we have seen companies, big companies in the real estate like P1, allegedly selling receipts instead of land to people. And a few days ago, we also see the EFCC declare Sujumoto wanted over some deals in the real estate. So the question has been, is real estate still a safe haven for people that are living in the diaspora? Today, I have someone in the studio. He's an experienced real estate investor. He has been into agriculture for some while. I've also known him personally. In fact, I started following him on Facebook when I saw many years ago, I think before COVID, he was doing exploits in farming, especially plantain sucker, and his stories attracted me to follow him. But recently, I saw that he left agriculture and is into real estate. So I have Mr. Mayowa with me today on the studio, and I would like him to introduce himself. Mr. Mayowa, thank you very much for accepting this on a short notice. Please, can you just tell us about your journey? Just tell us about yourself, first of all.
Okay, my name is Mayowa. I'm the founder of Yansom and Properties Limited, and this is Azura Garden. This is an estate I launched on the 4th of December, and today you can see the level of development.
So my name is Mayowa Adrosmeti, and like the host said, I was once a farmer, though I'm still a farmer, but now I'm into real estate full time. So I'm still a farmer, but I do farming on a low scale now at the moment. So maybe later in the future, I might still go back into it big, but for now, I do it at a low scale. Just reduce into sales of chicken, and just chicken alone, this sales of broiler chicken. And for the real estate, I diversified into real estate when I had one huge setback 3 years ago in my farming business. And the way to get back quickly, I have to venture into a business that will generate a huge cash flow. And one of those business in Nigeria today is one of them is real estate. At least even if I'm just an agent, if I sell a plot for 5 million naira, and my commission on the sales is just 10%, that's 500,000 naira. So if I do like 3 plots in a month, that's 1.5 million. So that is the reason why I have to venture into real estate. And also, if you lick a soup and you find out that the soup is sweet, so it will be difficult for you to what to quit. So I just say, may I what face the real estate business squarely, and from then it has been rosy. Though I don't really do agent this thing. What I do is I will buy a bulk of land, but I don't do large uh, land like that. At least my first estate was 5 acres. So after cutting it to the plot, we cut it to about 36 plots. And as I was able to sold out in less than 3 months. So after 3 months, we developed for 2 years. Then this is the third year my real estate, and we are already on the second estate. So the second estate, I got 9 plots of land. Then after cutting it into estate plots, we'll end up at 12 plots, and that one is sold out already. So I'll just buy from Omonele, add little profits, then uh, I'll add my own profit. I'll add the cost of fencing, the cost of the gate, the cost of the security house, the cost of the documentation. Then let's assume you got a plot for 1 million naira from Omonile. After adding cost of fencing, survey, documentation, with all those amounts to 1 million, then I add like 2 million, sorry, 200,000 to 300,000 as my own markup profit. And I advertise to my buyers, and they within 6 months, I give them 6 months grace to pay it up. And after that, the estate after the estate has been established, move to another project. So far so good. For the
Yeah.
past 3 years, I've done 2 estates like this. But right
Oh,
now we are working on establishing the third estate.
all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayowa, for that introduction. So let me be clear, especially for the benefit of our viewers. One of the things that motivated you to go into real estate is about the cash flow in terms of profit and in
Sure.
terms of stability. Is that true?
Sure. Yes,
So
sure.
now, okay, now, so the question is, this real estate now, is it profitable for you as the promoter, or is it also profitable for those that are investing? Because I understand that you are into it, as you said, you cannot test a soup and it is sweet and you will not go. So are you telling me that for majorly most real estate companies, including your own in Nigeria, that you guys are into it for your own selfish reason because it makes sense for you? How does it benefit others that are investing?
Sure. It's in 2 ways. Like in most companies does is that they'll visit your Monile, they buy a plot for maybe 500,000 naira per plot. Then because of the fancy gatehouse, fancy fence, perimeter fence, and every other thing, they start selling for 10 million naira. So those setup, it will be difficult for the buyers to later sell at the end of the day, because they've already bought the land at a very high rate. So when there's a need to sell the land, it will be very difficult for them, because outside the estate, you are outside outside the estate you bought, the money are still selling for 1 million, for 700,000, for 800,000 mass. But while in the estate, just because of the perimeter fence that is there and the gatehouse, you bought it at 10 million naira. So for you to sell at the rate that you make profit, it might take longer time, maybe the next 10, 20, 25, 30 years, because you've already bought into the full show. The amount they give you is the full show amount, like 30 years, like 30 years price, 30 years forward price. So, but for my own estate, what I do, like I said earlier, is that I don't add much profit. For example, I got a plot for Onele for 1 million naira. After calculating the cost of fencing, the cost of gate, the security house, the documentation, the survey, and every other documentation, maybe all those amount to 1 million naira. The only thing I'll add, I don't add more than 300,000. Highest 500,000 to a plot. So and everything ending as sum up to 2.5 million. So if you buy into such plot, just within 3 months, you can sell for 3 million or 4 million,
Okay.
considering the value added to the land. But let's assume I spent 2 million naira on a plot of land, and I came to you to sell it to you for 20 million naira. There's no magic to it. That land you'll not be able to sell it. So you've already bought it at a very crazy rate. I'm sorry to use that word. So it depends on the estate. Depends on the estate you are buying from. So
Yeah,
some
I
estates are so I
understand.
always and that's why you see all these guys they start real estate today, and in the next just 1 or 2 years they're already a billionaire.
So I was going to that. I was going to that because we are hearing a lot of scary stories about people paying for receipts. We are paying for land. They are paying for receipt for land that does not exist. So I want to ask, from your experience, why do you think that the real estate company in Nigeria now is facing this lot of scam, especially now? Why?
It depends on the integrity of the company that is selling the land. Like what the major issue with most real estate companies is that most of the land they bought are government land. They don't really do the due diligence on it. So they just any available land they see, they buy.
So
So at the end of the day,
how do the investors now know that the one you are now selling that you are now selling now is not government land? How do they know?
See, go ahead. The Igbo has make life easy now, so I can easily. There's an app I will introduce for anyone listening to this show to this podcast to go and download online on Play Store. Is like the map the coordinates, and even anywhere you are, once you have the coordinates, you can put it in your phone, then you can view that area. So the only thing for you, if you want to verify my land, I'll send the coordinate to you. Then if you have any surveyor, anybody that is working with the land theory in Lagos, or any surveyor, anybody, you can send it to them to confirm for you. So in Lagos, I don't know for that state too, but it is in Lagos, it is very easy to detect land scam because Lagos has planned on their land. For example, now in Ekpe, there's a master plan that has been there for almost 30 something years for Ekpe, where they wanted to use as residential, where they want to use as industry, industrial, when they want to use as agric, forestry, and all that. So they already have a plan, and it is there. But it's just that most people that bought into estate land, most of them are in abroad. They don't even know the area they bought into. They just buy the land. It's always very difficult for people that are in Nigeria here, that are home here. At least they will visit the land to fall into such fraud. But people that are far away from home, the only thing they will say to them is that fancy gatehouse. And once they see that gatehouse, they believe that that's all the company has done the necessary thing. And most of the land they are buying are government land. And another thing that aside the government land, most of the community land too, because as of Lagos of today now, there are two types of people that sell land: the family and the agent. So like some family that have prominent people in their midst, like people of high caliber in their midst. They usually have the means and the power to protect their land themselves. But family that doesn't really have much, that doesn't have people in power to serve as backup for them, they usually visit or they usually invite agents, all these land grabbers, to come and protect their land for them. They invite them, so they split it's like, okay, we have 100 acres of land, and we are scared that other land grabbers might come to hijack it from us. So they will invite one of those notorious land grabbers to come and what? Secure the land for them. And maybe out of 100 acres, they will bargain, they will give the land agent 20% of the land or 30% of the land, depending on the agreement. So, but if they didn't do that, if they didn't do that, the land grabbers will force themselves to come in for all this land. So once they hijack a community from the landowners, just give them within 3 to 6 months, they will sell the community off. And most of their clients are these big real estate companies. I don't want to mention name. Like the case
Yes,
of the guy selling street.
I understand. I understand that you don't
So
want to
like the case of the
mention
guy
them.
selling street. So most of their clients are all these. Most of these people, they also buy the land. Aside buying the government land, they also buy from all these land grabbers. So when the family revolt back, because land is not something you can buy and take away. It's still going to be there. So when the family report back, just 1 or 2, 3 years, they will take back the land, and that is why they are having all this problem of having all this allocation problem.
Mr.
For
Mayowa,
example,
yeah, okay, you want to give example, please go
so
ahead.
for example, now in the community that I'm staying now, I'm staying there presently, and the community that I'm staying now, that particular guy has about 5 estates here. So most of the estates, the biggest of his estate here is on a genuine land, but the rest are either on government land or land that land grabber sold to him. So when those cases start modeling up, it will be difficult for them to allocate. So I can say it's greediness. It's greediness. Normally, an estate should not be more than, and it's only a government that can take large expanse of land from people, like 50 acres, 100 acres, 30 acres. As a real estate, as a company, the highest you should be dealing with should not be more than 5 to 10 acres. Because any land that is more than 5 acres, you have to gather like 10 to 20 families before you can get it from them. And there's no
Yeah,
way all the 20 families will agree to sell at the same time. So most of the time they use force. They use these land grabbers to hijack those land forcefully from the families.
Mr. Mayowa, I love the place you are taking us to, but from a little research and having known you for more than 6 years or 7 years, I would say
Mm.
you do not have a real estate background. Can you tell us about your background? What did you study in the university? Or you are like me, we no go school at all?
Ah. So I graduated from Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, and I studied aquaculture and fishery management. But as a farmer and real estate work hand in hand. As a plantain, I was once a plantain farmer, and then I was farming for a lot of people. So I supply suckers, plantain suckers. So I visited a lot of. There's no place I wanted to mention in Lagos, Ogun State, even in the east in Owerri. I used to visit farms. So and there's no way you'll be doing real estate, sorry, farming in that scale, and you know at least know about land. You might not really know much about land, like it's okay, you want to know the details, like all these things that I'm sharing now. But at least you visit a lot of places. So that is my
So
first interest in that's my first interest in real estate. So when I diversified into real estate, it was very easy for me to what
so
to
why
search
did
for land.
so why did you see real estate as the next big opportunity? Why real estate? Why not farming? Because the
Personally,
government
pers-
is actually moving towards agriculture. And you as a young person in Nigeria, you are running away from agriculture to another side where you have to be facing Omolile, facing land grabbers. Why? Why do you see it as the next
mm,
opportunity?
the issue is that see if you are drowning, you need to save yourself first before you start saving other passengers in the boat. So as at now, if you are not financially buoyant, you cannot do you cannot do farming. If you are not financially buoyant, if you are not liquid, as in liquid enough, you can. I've done it before with investors' money and it's failed. So and me, I'm an orphan, so I don't have anybody to come for me. So I have to venture into business that will give me money first. I need to save myself first. Like I said earlier, so in the future, if I become much more as in like I have the money, I can always go back to farming. But right
Yeah,
now, I still do farming because it's my first love. If you come to
yeah.
my house now, I do chicken, I chicken, but I don't
So,
do more
so
than
you see
100
you
pieces.
see farming more as a passion now than as a business for now.
So farming is more like a passion now, but fashion will not feed me now. I'm a family man, so I have to go
So
for. Mm.
what exactly is land banking? Because I know that your company do more of land banking. Can you explain land banking? Just assume that my audience are 5 years old. Can you explain land banking in Nigeria in the simplest way so for anybody listening to understand?
So let me say, land banking is of two types. Like there are two methods you can do land banking. Like you, for example, now you go to a very remote area, like the outskirts of the town, and get like 10 acres, 20 acres. Maybe you buy it as a farmland. Then you leave it for maybe 20 years, 30 years for the place to appreciate. Most in those cases, it is mostly maybe your children that will benefit from the land. Or if you are lucky to get it at a very younger age, then by the time you are 50, 60, 70, you can start what? Benefiting from it. But there's another way you can do land banking. I will not even call it land banking, I'll call it land retailing. What I do is not really land banking. What I do is land banking, is land retailing. So we go to a places like go to some villages or to some town and get land that is let's say the last house in that town or in that village. You count like by the time you count like 4 to 5 plots to get land in those areas, you fence it round, and eventually you start selling. So in all those kind of land, IS in the next 1 or 2 years, development will start moving in. So IS by the time, let's say if you invest into those land within 5 years, start getting your reward. So that one is land banking. You can call it land banking. But personally, the way I see it, I don't see it as land banking because most of the people that buy into it, they can say, okay, let's develop. I want to develop today, and they can develop and move in because they are closer to town.
Okay. Mr.
They are very
Mayowa,
closer
I
to
know
town.
that no matter how you have been 3 years in this industry, and I, for one, when I was in Lagos the other time, I visited you, and I know the effort you have been putting in this business. Now, but you cannot say you are perfect. So, what are some of the mistakes that you have done within these 3 years that you think others should avoid if they are coming in to invest in the real estate market in Nigeria? What mistake do you think you have done personally that you think others watching this should avoid?
Personally, I've not really done any mistake per se like that, because when I launched my first estate, I give it space. As in, before I could launch another one, it took me like 3 years to launch another one. And so I, from the first one, I studied it very well. And the first estate is just, let's say, like through, let's say, 5 plots away from my house that I live. From
Okay.
the house I'm living in now. So the land I bought for the first estate is just like, let's say, 5 to 7 plots away. So it's something that I see every day, that I monitor every day, and I'm here. So I deal with Dominel every day. They know me. Even if they want to give me title now, they can give me the King of Boys title, because I relate with them. So
Mhm.
it's like investing in my backyard, and I'm watching it every day. I monitor it every day. So I've not really had any challenge now per se.
So,
And
so
for the
do
second
you?
estate,
Okay, go ahead.
it's also in the same vicinity, but I have to move away from that area. Let's say you are staying, you have an estate in the VI, then you move to Ajah to go and launch. You move to Lekki to go and launch another one. So it's still the same as is.
Yeah.
So
So
I've
how
not really
can a
had
regular,
any.
so a
Mm,
regular Nigerian now with no insider knowledge, like you are the king of boys in that area. How can a regular Nigerian that probably want to invest in real estate, maybe he's living in the diaspora like me, or he's living in the busy part of Lagos, and he doesn't have time to go and be checking the plot every day? What are some of the red flags that they can spot before paying for the land?
real estate, see, if you are buying just a plot of land, it's totally different from buying acres or 20 plots, 50 plots. It's totally different. If you are buying a plot of land, you are buying from an individual. But if you are buying larger plots like acres, you are buying from a family. And one of the mistake people make is that once you get a land, aside buying government land, once you got the land from wrong land, if you like, go and do CFO on the land. If the owners come for it later, that your CFO, it will be useless. It will just be like a paper, like a pop-off paper or suya paper. So the major problem in real estate is what root of title. So before, even despite I live here, when I wanted to get my second estate, it took me like 3 to 4 months before I can seal the deal with the landowners. Because if you are buying acres or buying several plots, you are buying from family. And family can be up to 50, can be up to 100, can be up to 20, can be 5. So you have to at least do your due diligence and see that you cross and you cross it, as in you left every all stone unturned. Do you
Yes,
understand me?
yes, I
So
understand you
that
very
is the
well.
challenge. So if you want to venture into real estate, you need someone that can do all those work for you, or you have to come down and do it yourself.
So why do you think that they still land fraud? Why is it so common in Nigeria now? And what do you think need to change? Because people in diaspora are already losing hope in investing in the real estate. And let me tell you the truth. I know you don't want to mention them, and I can use the word allegedly because most of my viewers are in the diaspora. I follow the P1 case, and allegedly, I don't want you to comment on it. Allegedly, most of the people that Mr. Scott are saying invested in receipt instead of land live in the diaspora. I also see Mr. Scott say today that Sujimoto allegedly is also owing someone $1.9 million from investment he did in the land in land and the real estate scam in Nigeria. I do not have all the fact about this. So the only thing I can ask you is this: why do you think that this land fraud is still so common in Nigeria? Why do you think it's still so common in Nigeria? What do you think need to change, Mr. Mayowa, right now for people to build people's confidence back in the Nigeria real estate?
My brother, see, there is nothing wrong with the real estate in Nigeria. It's the players. It's the players, the method and everything they are using. Once you start a business and the moment you start requesting for investment, you know that that very day you start requesting for investment, you are already what? Heading for failure. Because you are not a bank, there's no way you can manage it. It is not sustainable. There's no method you want to use. It is not sustainable. And for real estate, I can understand for every other business like farming, like if you are doing trading and every other business. But for real estate, I don't really understand why you need investment money for real estate, because most of the land most of these people are buying. I'm in the sector. They go to community, they buy like 50 acres or maybe 200,000 per plot. Then they start selling for 5 million naira. So you're already making a whole lot of money. So why do you need money from people again to come and invest with you? If it's not greediness and I don't know, I don't even know what to call it. Even the little the little that I'm doing, just little profit that I'm adding. I know what my net worth as at now compared to when I was farming. It was like times 500. In how will I put it? It's like times 500 in this thing in value.
Hmm.
The little that
I
I've
love.
achieved, that little profit that I'm adding, compared to like there's one. I'm not this my assets here in Japan. There's one real estate that I know. The man has launched the real estate. If you see the hype and everything, they give that estate. The estate is just like let's say 15 minutes drive to my house and to my first estate. In this estate, they are selling a plot for 45 million naira. My brother, if you bring 1 million naira, I will get a plot of land directly from Monile from in that same area we have that estate. And what is the unique thing they did in that estate? Just they find the beautiful fence, they find gatehouse, and maybe they just did one helipad there. Till today, there's nothing unique, spectacular about the estate. So if you are
Hmm.
making such huge profit from that from your venture, why do you still need to seek for investment?
Hmm.
So the issue is not the real estate sector. The issue is the player, the comp. So if you have, but one thing about our people is that once you package for them, they are always attracted to. It's just like if you go to Lekki now, you see a house because of ordinary POP, they start calling the house 100 million. What is in POP? The lipstick in my house what's is POP luxury because there's POP there, there's white paint there, they start calling 100 of million. My brother, I built a house recently. My house that I built recently is about 5 bedroom this thing. My sitting room is like a mini football size stadium. My rooms are very, very big. I use POP all through. My bedroom is like a parlor in Lagos, all this like a room, in Lagos. But the amount, how much did I spend on POP? Just everything is I did on that house is not up to 2.5 million naira. But if I'm like these people now, I can package this house now because of the people and everything and sell for 100 million or 200 million. So our people too need to look beyond all this. I don't know. I've not been abroad before, but at least with a little exposure, I don't see Gerard on the house as a luxury. I don't see POP as luxury. Don't see
I
white
also
light.
don't see it like that. I also don't
Don't
see it
worry.
like that, Mr.
So
Mayowa.
once these people put all these things there, they start selling at a very crazy rate. So it's like on the investor part is greediness. Then on the buyer's part, like let me call it ignorance. I don't know.
So, Mr. Mayowa, if I have 500K now, if I have 500K, or I have 1 million, or I have 5 million, how can I safely invest it in land without being scammed?
If you have 500K or 1 million, if you have such amounts, I will just advise you to buy from Monele. But it's just that the Monele too are not really trustworthy like that. But one thing about Monele is that if you buy land from them, if they sell the land, if you drag them, they'll still give you another one, except they don't have land again in that community. So to be on the safer side, as you are buying the land, you will try to what? Maybe do foundation or you fence it round. Then you proceed to further documentation with the government.
Okay, so you mean let's assume that young Nigerians that are living abroad right now, how can they safely now invest in property back home? Because you are talking about Umoline. How can someone like me, I don't know any Umoline, I don't even know how to call the name. That was why people were investing in structured company like the ones I
And
mentioned before.
you
So
you make
how can we
you
invest?
see you make your findings and see out of the real estate, there are so many real estate companies in Lagos. Let me just use Lagos as a case study. There are so many real estate companies in Lagos, so there's no possible way that all of them are bad. So you do your due diligence, you do your findings and everything, and make sure you buy from a reputable company.
So when buying, I normally see that people they do a whole lot of they bring in lawyers, they bring in surveyors, they bring in community leaders when they are buying. So what is the role of these lawyers, the surveyors, and the community leaders when it comes to buying land in Nigeria?
Are you talking as an investor, as a
I mean, as an investor, because most of my viewers, some we like to go into the business to do it full time, but I know that majority of them just want to buy land and keep land as a way of saving and also as a way of investing into their retirement plan. So, what is the role of lawyers, surveyors, and community leaders in the deal when it comes to buying this land, either from a company or from the unstructured omonile that you talked about?
from the company? It depends on what you want. For the company, it depends on what you want. If you want, maybe like the way I explained land banking, if you want a land you want to buy for just maybe you are not don't know what to do with it now, just want to keep it there, maybe for 10, 20 years. I always advise that you don't buy such land from company. Go directly to Omonele. You buy fence and see one thing about land is root of title. Like most of my land, personal land, I'm not even talking of my estate land now. I don't There are some that I don't even have receipts. I don't even have deed of assignments. I don't have the complete documents. But once you buy the land right from Omonele, forget about the rest. But the major issue with land started from the root of title. The land that belongs to Mr. Simon. You go and Mr. Folani now sold it to you. That's the beginning of the problem. If you like, go and do CFO, go and do anything that is even above CFO. If Mr. Simon shows up tomorrow and say this is my land, and he can prove it, my brother, that land, whatever you build on that land is gone. So the
Hmm.
major thing with real estate, the major thing with land is root of title. That is Omonele. Once you get it right from Omonele, forget about it. In my land that I live here, it was after 3 years I went to go and get the documents. And
Hmm.
I bought the land for like 5 years, leave it there. I did not even do anything. After 5 years, I built and I moved in. So it's like after 3 years, I went for the document because I bought it from the real owners that I'm very sure of.
So
And
do you?
there's evidence that I got it from them. Even there's a land like 3 plots from my that I got. When I asked the seller, he said he doesn't have, he misplaced the receipt because he also got it from Dominele. I just carry my camera and I record him. Recorder. I paid that. Yeah, and the land is there. Nobody is coming to challenge me. So one thing about land is what? The root of title. How you got the land matters a lot.
Hmm. So do you still think that real estate is still one of the safest investment in Nigeria?
It's sure it's the safest, but the issue, see, there's no business in Nigeria or in this world that doesn't have their own risk. The major risk with real estate is number one, land grabbing issues. But if you can buy right and do the right thing, at least you are like 2 or 5 steps ahead.
So where do you see the Nigeria real estate in the next 5 to 10 years?
Ah, I always like to use, because real estate is very, very broad. The way they sell land in Lagos is not the same. It's not the same way they sell land in Port Harcourt or in Calabar or in Abuja. Methods. But even in Lagos, say you go to Ekpe, you go to some families, even in the same local government, their method and methodologies are quite different. Like where I got my first estate now, the way they say their land there, and where I get my second estate, it's still the same local government, so even the same, it's still in the same LCDA. The methods are different. So I always like to use my location as case study. The real estate in Lagos now is like, for example, now this part of the, especially this part of Lagos, the Epe, Ibejuleki, Aja, those are the new Lagos in the future because development has shifted to those areas. The Dangote refinery is another place. The Lekki Epe airport is another place. The largest food market in West Africa, that's Lagos Logistics and Food Hub. That one is even like 5 minutes, 7 minutes drive to my house. And they are working there every day. So a lot of things are shifted to this side. So if as a wise investor, or the best thing is to get in this area. But before buying, you have to do your due diligence because I will not lie to you. 90% of the land, or let's say 80% of the land in Ekpe now is government land. So you have to what? You have to, because a lot of, no, as government, as buyers are people, as people are buying, government too are also not also what's coming.
Mr.
Also
Mayowa,
coming to get their own.
I'm going to ask you something personal.
Mhm.
You know, somebody have asked me this question before, and I think you have the expertise to answer me. How much did you use to start this business? Like this your land business? Because I know in the space of 3 years, how you have grown. You have built so many houses in 3 years, and I know you before, Mayowa. I know how all of us we are doing is small, small. How much did you use to start this business?
Well, I can't really specify because you know these are online people. And once you say you start one business, you start a poultry with one egg, you start shouting motivational speaker. I mean, when I started real estate, I don't have a couple. I was coming from BC, which debt from my family
Yes.
business. So I don't have a couple. I was just driving one day because I left my farm and I just experienced a huge loss. So I was just driving one day and I was driving along the Lagos, the Ikorodu Epe Expressway. And from there also, from there I branched to the Lekki Epe Expressway. So I was just seeing estates here and there, here and there and there. So I took my time to research most of those estates, and I find out that most of the people that own those estates are young guys of maybe 30 to 35 years old, like Wale Ayala of Landway, Nola Adetola of Veritas Savings, and others. And this guy that's in Dubai now, Adeyinka Ramos, or Adeyinka Ramos, those guys are billionaires now. They are billionaires. They are quite, they're starting billion. So those guys started from Aja. They are the one that developed most estates in Aja, and now most of them have estates like 2 to 3 or 5 estates in Ekpe. So I did the research and I study. And I took my time like 2 to 3 months to study the way Amana they are doing it. And when I started, just one post on Facebook blew everything up. Like I said, like my first land now, okay, how much did I got my first land? I got it for let's say 350 from Omnele. Then I add just to 50,000 per plot on it. Because when it comes to the land business, there's a lot in it. If you buy a plot, say I want to build for my house and I want to fence it, it's different from buying several acres. You have to do a lot of things to secure it. Number one thing, just like every other business, you have to move closer to it.
Yeah,
If not
I
that,
love.
for example, now let me give an instance. For example, now if not that I stay here, they will have grabbed my first estate from me a very long time ago. One day the mind just pushed me, okay, go to the estate and see what is happening there. I also saw that one estate has come. They are already mounting fence across my land. So with my proactiveness and everything, I was able to fight back for my land. So I don't really have the money, but for my presence alone is a lot. So that's why I said with the little markup profit that I'm putting, I'm still making it big. I'm still, at least to some extent, at least I'm living decently. There's no restaurant I want to enter that I cannot eat there. There's no hotel I want to go that I cannot go. There's even one day, one of my friends in UK was telling me that I should come to UK. Like they come home, they spend 1 million naira in the bar. Me, I will not be able to spend 100,000. I say, you try and come and move go back first. Try and come and move
try,
go back first. Who go run?
try put body make you see
Who
whether
body
na
says to
shift
sleep?
money.
Because so with the little profit the little 200k, 250k, 300k that I'm putting on a plot of land, I'm still doing well. Not all these guys are putting millions. You buy plots for 100,000, for 1 million because of the fence and everything. start selling for 40 million. And I don't know
Mr.
you are scamming
Mayowa,
people. So this thing
Mr.
is business.
Mayowa, Mr.
Mm.
Mayowa, your mates are running away, are jabbering from Nigeria. With the tax reform, with many things that are coming up, many people are saying that they are still looking for visa to run away. Mayowa, let me ask you, sorry to ask you this thing. Are you okay? Why
I mean,
won't you run away like every other person?
ah, if one thing, like I told you this on call this morning, see, everybody cannot run away from this country. Because the Japa is good. It's good to still relocation has been from time immemorial. It does not even start from us. My father used to tell me that he used to narrate his history to me that when he was young, he did everything possible to Japa. He even stole my grandma mommy, my grandma money to try to Japa, but end up maybe in Gaborone or something. So Japa doesn't start today. It started from time immemorial. Let's say even from the Bible. So, but everybody, no matter how bad it is, everybody cannot leave. Because if every smart person should leave, they are leaving the country, the affairs of the country to the idiots that are back home. So Japa is good, but like I also have friends that are always calling me, guy, come Canada, guy, come US. It's not about the money to come there, but when it is time to come, I'll be coming. I just call you, Simeon, okay, come and pick me at the airport. But for now, I still dey build my I still dey build my portfolio now. I still dey
Yeah,
build my portfolio. That time don reach. If you say now just one series of just one transaction from my business, you just say, today I want to come to Canada today, spend 2 weeks and come back. So people that
yeah.
are really born in Nigeria, they don't see Japa as a pathway to wealth.
Mayowa, I cannot leave you. I cannot leave you on this podcast without tapping from your agricultural lessons. I know you are now a big guru in the real estate, but bros,
So
I
I'm
know
still learning,
what we
bro.
went through in agriculture. So, my viewers are interested to know your thought because they are on a cross path, whether they should invest in agriculture or they should run away. Do you think farming is still profitable for young Nigerians today, or even the old ones?
Sure, farming is profitable, but it's a high risk venture. So and like I always say, if you are still a young guy, at least in your early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, you can still put your effort, 100% effort on farming, especially in this part of the country that there's no support from the government. If I find my way in a developed country today, I might try to go back to farming because I know that at least I have the government at my. But in Nigeria of today, there's no backup anywhere. So if you suffer any loss, you are going to bear it alone. So farming is high risk. It's high risk. It's not that it is profitable and at the same time high risk.
Yeah,
So
that's true. So
mhm.
what advice will you give someone who want to start a small scale farming business now? Let's say plantain farming, fish farming, poultry farming, or what have you. What advice will
I
you give
will
them?
I will advise the person to start small, then to grow into it. To
Okay.
start small. For example, if you have 5 million to invest, don't put all the 5 million. You can try with 1 million first. Then if there's a result with the 1 million, you put another 500,000. You space out the 5 million in the space of 3 to 5 years. Don't put everything there at once.
So
So you grow naturally to it.
let's push it to you now. If you are to let's assume you are to start farming now in this 2025 with your experience, how will you do it differently?
Sure. One major thing that even killed me, or might even killed my farming business was location. Because you have to consider road network, you have to consider insecurity. I have a standard farm that I've abandoned because of where I started the farm is outskirts of the town. Then there's no light, there's no good road leading to the farm. So if I want to start farming now, my house that I live in I live in a very big compound. I still have like one and a half plot of land I'm not using for anything. So I'll just set up my fish pond there because I study fishery and it is what I know like back of my hand. So I'll start it in my compound. So if I wake up in the morning, something I can monitor by myself and everything. So one thing about family is that if you cannot do it in yourself, or you don't really have the time to monitor it, don't bother to venture into it. Because aside the economic factor, the major factor too that you have to consider, if your family is too far from the outskirts, from the town, it's a big challenge. Number one thing, you find it difficult to get people to go and work there. Because now, even the poor people now are afraid of kidnappers. They are afraid of ritualists. They are afraid of people ambushing them and killing them or something or stealing from them. So, first thing you have to consider when you want to site your farm, you have to site it in a place that even you, when you come, you can sleep there without having the fear of anybody coming for you.
Thank you
So
very much,
that's
Mr.
one of the first
Mayowa.
mistakes I did in farming. So if I'm trying to do anything now, even if I'm not using my compound, I'll buy it in a town. I'll prefer to buy one plot of land in a town than to go and buy 10 acres of land in one forest.
You know, when we come to, I normally say
Mm,
this on my channel, when it comes to farming, I see I'm using fish farming since you are there.
mm.
I see so many people they talk about eating pond, even though I love eating pond and all that. But you see that most of the eating ponds that people have are inside the bush. They are inside the channel, the canal, the waterlogged areas. And most times it's not usually the area where people live. There are some people that are in advantage where they can get where people live. But we have so many people that do not have those advantage. So how do you see those eating pond and like you are talking about setting it up in your compound? Does it make any difference? Setting it up in the bush, in a river area, or using tarpaulin or concrete to set it in your compound?
If you are setting up in the bush, you have to consider the area. Every area has history, like maybe insecurity history in the past. If it's a area that is prone to all those things, my brother, I would advise you not to to do anything there. Because number one thing
Okay.
that is even the young people now, like it was just like when I was in my former area in Ofada in Muwe. My family is just by the roadside, just in the main Ofada town. It's a big town, so my family is just by the roadside. So the land belongs to my uncle. If I fire the worker now, if I just put a banner outside, in the next 30 minutes, I'll have to go and remove the banner because the number of people that will be calling me. Yeah,
Yes.
so once the farm is in this town, so you always get people to work with me. But when I moved to my area, to my permanent site, I was even begging people to come and work with me. I was telling you, I will shoot your salary. Once they come, spend 1 or 2 days, they will run.
Yes.
So, so you have to consider a lot of things before citing your farm. Number one thing, people that work for you. If the farm is too, if you are, if it is in a remote area, people will run. Then you have to
Hmm.
consider aside that you have to consider the logistics, moving and out. Then the power. Power too is another one important factor that you need to consider. Even people that are in the town, in the city, they are lamenting of power. Not talk of you that go outside to farm in the forest. So that means you'll be spending you'll be 100% dependent on fuel.
You are
So
very
when
right,
it comes to
Mr.
farm, I always
Mayowa.
tell people that it's not about the size of farm. The one major thing about farming is where is the location of that farm. When I was in the
Very
father, I was
true.
not having an issue. There's light, there's light. At least, even if it is 1 hour, they are bringing it in a day. I usually target that 1 hour. Sometimes they bring it in the midnight, like 2 o'clock in the midnight. I will wake up because I live in the farm to go and change water. So I was
Hmm.
not really having issue with power like that. So it's not that consistent, but the little time they are bringing it, I always plan myself towards that period.
Hmm.
But when I moved to the new area, I was dependent 100% on fuel. Then my farm is in the area. I cited it in an area that if when it is two, then it is 3 or 4. Even for me, I used to even use strong gate, stay by 4. For Lani, they stay past 1 hour for that farm. That's my neighbor. That's not going to look back. I say, you get my conside time for here, and you don't fit stay for 1 hour. Me, I will still stay there. I will still go there in the morning because I'm a farmer. I've been farming for a very long time. My friend is not really a farmer. He just that he like it. So once he come around,
Yeah.
like You know they stay past 30 minutes. You don't go sharp sharp.
It's like me that went and lived inside.
You
People
cannot
say
even stay
where
more
I
than
get.
30 minutes. You'll be looking left and right that someone will come and kidnap him and run. And
Yeah.
see, that's the beginning, that's the genesis of the problem. If you site a farm in an area that even you yourself cannot stay more than 1 hour there, it's a big problem. Your workers will capitalize on it. They will steal nonsense from you.
Mr. Mayowa, do you have I know that you are real estate, you are developing a new estate recently. Do you have land in those estates you want to sell? Or what do you have any plans for people that want to buy land? Do you help people buy land or do you have land to sell?
I have lands for sale in my estate. Like my first estate is sold out already. So my second estate, I have just one plot to. I think I have two plots to left now. Then the new estate I'm launching now, that one is still fresh. At least for the pre-launch price, you can. I don't know if I'm permitted to say the amount or market it here.
No, you can say the amount, please. Please say the
So
amount. They
for
would
the
like
new
to
for the
hear.
new estate we are trying to launch now is 3.5 million per plot. Then you can spread the payment for 6 months. So it's not all those land that you have to buy that you wait for donkey years. It's a land that if you buy today, when you come around, you can start building. So
So that
anytime, even
means
if you want to say Nigeria,
if someone buy the land from you
hmm?
today, where is the land first of all? Where is he located?
Like I said, the land is still at the pre-launch. If you want to buy a land, I want to start building now. You pay for it today. You won't start building now. That you have to buy from my second estate, and I have just two plots left there. But for the
How
new
much is
estate
that
I'm
one?
about to launch, now. You have to give me at least a year because you have to perfect everything before I start inviting you to come and build.
Okay, okay,
So
okay,
we are just trying to, we are about to launch it now. So if you
okay.
are keen into that project, it means that if you want to do anything like development, it has to be from June, July next year.
That is when you for the second one, right?
No,
Okay,
for the third one, but for the
okay.
second one,
Sorry,
that one,
for
mm,
the new one that you are about
for
to
the new one,
launch.
about
So
to
what
launch,
is
so you
the
have to
phone
give me.
number? What is the WhatsApp number that people can use? You can call out the number, but I'll still put it on the screen.
So my number is 08068447729.
Okay. So maybe some people will like to reach out to you to discuss more
No problem.
about that. So on a final note, Mr. Mayowa, what final advice will you give to Nigerians that would like to build wealth, whether it is through farming, whether it is through business or real estate? What advice will you give to them?
And first thing, you have to what study. Like for example, you want to go into farming, you have to take your time to study what you want to invest on. Because most people, once they hear that Mr. So is making millions from his business, they also want to dabble into it without really having the pure knowledge, like the background knowledge. So you have to take your time to study it. Don't just jump into it. If it is real estate is very, very lucrative. But at the same time, if you jump into it, you are going to jump out the same way you jump into it. So you have to take your time to study it. Like I said, I've been into, I stay in Nigeria, despite I live closer to all my estates. For the past 3 years, I only have two estates. My first estate is just 30 something plots. Then my second estate is just 12 plots. I don't do big estates. It's not that if I need 100 acres of land today, I can get it because I live where there is abundance of land. I know the families that can make that, okay, give me 50 acres, give me 100 acres, but I don't do more than 2 acres. Then by the time I don't do more, the second one now, even the third one I'm about to launch now, I'm only looking for 2 acres of land. So 2 acres of land, that's 12 plots. By the time you cut it into plots, it will amount to like maybe 14 plots. So 14 plots, highest 3 to 6 months are already sold out. Then maybe another 6 months to 1 year for development, then we'll move to another project. So in those estates, it's be easy for you to what to protect them because they are not large. So by the time you have 3 to 4 houses in 12 plot estates, it's already a community. When you have 50 acres of land, there's no way you can really protect those land. Even if government do not collect it from you, government of today, they are the highest land grabber. Tinubu is a land grabber before he became a governor or president of Nigeria. I'm from Lagos. I'm originally from Lagos. Tinubu grabbed my family land in Niger. So Tinubu is a notorious land grabber. So even Lagos state government, they are land grabber on their own. The federal government, go to Abuja, Wiki is a land grabber. So
you are
even if
allegedly,
you
allegedly.
so it's there. I can call them because they are public figures. So even Wiki that is in Abuja there, Tinubu invited him because he's a land grabber. So the government are the highest land grabber in the state. So if you are getting any land and you are not buoyant enough to protect it, even if I'm not collect it from you, government is coming to collect it. And they have this law that back them up, this land use and acts, that all land belong to the government.
It belongs to
They
the
just bring one
government.
policy and say, okay, oh, they just bring one policy and say, okay, you want to use, and it's a lie. They will see the land 20 years later, they sell it to their cronies. So that's why me, I need to pass my boundary. I want to buy land that if I establish the estate, maximum of 2 to 3 years, it's already a community. By the time you have like 3 to 4 houses there, it's already a community.
Wow. I love
So
Mr.
that's my own
Mayowa. I
logic.
must say that with the type of knowledge you have, I will definitely have to invite you back to this our
Sure, no
TV.
problem. I'm always
Yeah,
available.
I love the knowledge you have is been wonderful, and I said I have to make sure that my viewers get some of this insight. It's been wonderful having you, and thank you very much for being or building the Nigeria of our dream. For some of us that have jabbed, thank you very much for still showing us that there is way, and I'm going to invite you back in future for us for you to tell us more about real estate, because we have many people that love doing real estate here in Nigeria. So thank you very much, everyone. It's been nice having Mayowa on the studio today. Mayowa have shared and pour it all. So if a young Nigerian, you have seen that it is not only about jabbering, you have seen that it's not only about living Nigeria, that there are so many ways for you to make money. He said from his recap that he did not really start with money. But you know, anytime we say things like this, I have always said it on this channel, people will come and say you are privileged. That is why you are talking like that.
Me, I don't
Because
start with a couple. One couple, I did not start. I was even coming from debt. With real estate, I built my first house in 3 months. I paid my debt. My second house in 6 months. You know, the little 200 credit, 100 I'm at the heart. So there's money in the sector, but the other people spoiling the name, the sector for us, I don't know. They are just I don't know, it's just so unfortunate. So even if they are doing it the little way you are doing it, I just converted my first house to a business academy. And let's say from next week, my student will start resuming. So this is the thing I want to tell. Even if you just based on you just want to, don't even need to venture into real estate. Just attach yourself to a reputable company and be selling land from them. If you are selling land and you're getting 10% on the land that is 3.5 million, that's 350,000. If you sell 3 plots in a month, that's even a bank manager is not collecting that amount.
exactly,
The
exactly,
bank manager is not
exactly.
collecting that amount. So even as a realtor, I have a guy in Hong Kong that used to refer customers to me like that. The guy is in Hong Kong. He's a lecturer in Unilag before he went to. He's a lecturer in the university in Hong Kong. There, the guy sometimes will just shift customers. Sometimes 800K, sometimes 1 million, sometimes 1 point something million. It's commission. So just commission alone, if you base yourself on commission alone, you will make it big in this country in the real estate sector. Don't even need to disturb yourself. Just attach yourself to one company. But before attaching yourself to a company, make sure it is a reputable company.
Make sure you research so that they will not
Make
be
sure
calling
you
your
do
name.
due diligence very, very well.
One real
Me,
estate company. A
Simon,
real
Mr.
estate
Simeon,
company.
Mr. Simeon, as
Yeah.
I dey here, I no dey market any land outside my religion. See, I used to
Wow.
get a lot of offers in the Bejuleki, in Eleko, Bejuleki. Bejuleki is closer to us in Koye. But I have not gone there to market just even one half plot of land. Because real estate is very, very dynamic. If it is just one plot of land, I can go and buy if I do my due diligence. But when it comes to estate land, families own estate land. Family, so you have to take your time very well to do. You have to do your due diligence. Sometimes, like when I wanted to get my second estate, It took me 4 months, despite I live in this area, to make sure when I have the video, I'll send the link to you on WhatsApp. I have to sit down, start down the key members, the ballet, the youth coordinator. Each time I go for the meeting, I usually get food. Like I go to eatery, buy takeaway, buy drinks and everything, just for all of them to sit down. So you have to get every one of them, the stakeholders have to get them in attendance. So it's not something you just go and buy. Okay, a land that belongs to 50 people. 3 people now say it's for you. That land is going to get, if you like, do whatever you want to do on it. 50 years, they'll get that land back from you. Go to Lagos now, the city, I'm talking of areas like, in the mainland, areas like Apulegba, like Oshodi, Ikeja. There are a lot of land cases that, and one thing is that, even if you use your power and everything to cheat the landowners, they wait for you to sell the land finish. So in the full show, they will not fight you, they'll come and fight your buyers. And the way they will fight your buyers, they will not fight them directly, they will fight, it is you that they will take to court. And because you've already sold out maybe 50 years ago, you don't have any money again. So once you take it to court, you don't apply the first time, the second time, the third time, they will just win the case. And they will now come back and start meeting each house that pay 50 million, we demolish your house. It happened to my dad's younger brother. The land he bought back about, let's say 15, 20 years ago. They came back now. Maybe he bought it then maybe for 300,000. They're telling him to pay 20 million now for the demolish his house. So when it comes to buying community land, you have to take your due diligence. You have to do your due diligence. If you're in abroad and you want to invest, not if you want to buy from an estate, you can easily buy from a reputable company, or if I even meet Omonele and buy. But if you want to invest, you want to venture into it fully, and my brother, I will advise you to come home. If it's 6 months, buy, secure, go back.
Thank you very much, Mr.
So that's
Mayowa.
the main issue that most people do not really understand. The issue is not real estate, but the issue is how these players they are paying. They just want to make money. They don't care. They don't care. They just want to make money.
Thank you very much,
Today now,
Mr. Mayowa. I will definitely invite you back on this program. So for all of us watching, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to be seeing interviews like this. And also tell me on the comment section whether you like us to have more of interviews like this, bringing up talented young Nigerians. And when I'm trying to make interview, I'm not going to be bringing up the politicians or people that I feel we will not relate to. I will look for young hustlers like us so as to show young people that you can actually build wealth without going into crime. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching this, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayowa.
thank
Thank
you,
you
Mr.
so
Simeon.
much. Yeah, thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much. I
Yeah,
appreciate your
we'll
time.
see you on the
Everything.
next one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.